We are at probably 12 yards. Just trust the dot, right? Wow. Empty. Let's take a look at the target. First shots ever through the Sphinx solution. This thing is sweet. Hello everybody, MD Polo here. Thank you for joining me. Today we take a look at the Sphinx Fusion Tactical Optic. This is not the first Sphinx pistol that we featured in the channel. If you've stopped by before, you've seen me make several videos of the Sphinx Redback. The Redback is their competition pistol. It is their, I would say, the flagship of Sphinx, with absolutely amazing craftsmanship, fit to finish, tremendous accuracy. I love that pistol. It's heavy, competition driven, and pretty expensive. This is for a different task, for a different purpose. This would be their duty line of pistol, and this has very similar dimensions to a Glock 45, a Glock 19X, just so you can get an idea of the dimensions. It's a little bit heavier than a Glock 19X or a Glock 45, but you also have 17+1 capacity and with a shorter barrel than, let's say, a Glock 17. You can also get the compact model, not the tactical like you have in front of you, but the compact model, and that's going to come in with 15+1 capacity. There's a bit of history here, and I'll try to put a timestamp below so you can jump around if you want, but this is Swiss made, all handmade in Switzerland, just like the Redback is. And this is coming, Sphinx means a lot to the owner of the company because it's rising from the ashes. What ashes am I speaking of? The ashes of the Sphinx program. You may be familiar with the Swiss-made Sphinx, the Sphinx 3000 for competition, the Sphinx SDP, which was the 17 round, which is very comparable to this. And then you got the Sphinx Compact, which was also their 15 round version, which, by the way, there were two of my favorite handguns, and I've shown them in videos before here. Now, the history behind this is Sphinx has been around since the 19th century, and it started life as a die and tool company. Eventually, in the mid-1980s, they got into firearms and quickly developed a name for exquisite craftsmanship, fit, finish, just superb pistols. Later on, the company was sold to Chris. Chris brought it to the US, and the marriage didn't last very long. 5 years later, the company was bankrupt. So the original founder of Sphinx packed up his gunsmiths, his best gunsmith, and the team of gunsmiths, and went back to Switzerland. And they went back to a town called Matten, Matten, Switzerland, which is very close to Interlaken. Interlaken is one of my favorite towns in Switzerland. I absolutely love that place. So, fittingly enough, that's where Sphinx is based from. So, together with his best gunsmiths, they began the process of making the Sphinx line of pistols. Rising from the ashes, that's what they name is important. Taking a look at the pistol itself, like I said, is the size of a Glock 45 19X. The pistol has a snap cap in there, and just for you guys that want me to check, the pistol is empty. Taking a look, like I said, it is a longer grip with a shorter slide, and the slide is going to be milled out of a solid piece of steel billet. I'll let you take a look as I walk around. It is cut for this red dot, and this is the RMSC. So it's got an aluminum housing on it. This is not a review of the dot, but just so you know it's there as we walk around the pistol. For those of you familiar with the Sphinx SDP line of pistols, the grip module is going to look pretty familiar to you, and there's a reason for that, but you'll see some upgrades as well. Let you take a look. Oh my gosh, look at that bright spot. Sorry about that. By the way, since we're doing this, you see that I'm playing with a different background here. You've seen this in other videos, but you've also seen the black one and also like a gray blue. It would be very helpful for me if you can just give me some feedback and let me know which one you like best. What do you think? Do you like the wood one? Do you like the black one? Or do you like the slate gray? So anyway, back to the slide. The slide is machined out of a single piece of steel billet, like I said. It's got front and rear serrations that are very positive. They are not quite to the point where they're going to cut you, but they're very, very tactile and very positive. I mean, once you get a hold of these, there's no way that that's going to slide from your hand. The sight system is just blacked out sight in the front. See if the camera will pick that up. There's absolutely nothing in there, just basically a knob up there. And on the rear, the sight has been removed, and you co-witnessed through the aperture that it has here. So if you need to, you can co-witness, and I think the camera can catch the red dot right there. It's washing out quite a bit, but there it is. And like I said, if you don't want a red dot, you can order it without being optics ready, and the sights of your choice. We've got the external extractor. And like I said, this is the RMS shield. And this one is the 4 MOA reflex mini sight. Moving down the frame, so that the slide is steel. The frame, the upper part of the frame, is aluminum, and the lower part is polymer. And this is where we're saving some of the weight. It's a little bit lighter than a Glock 45, Glock 19X, but not by much. It's not as heavy as you think it might be. So we got an aluminum lower that has very nice memory pads on both sides. They just give you pretty decent texture. Let's see if the camera will catch it. There it is. Very nice. You got a 4-slot pick rail to hang anything you need to hang from it. A very ample trigger guard. So anything you have, big hands, you got gloves, you got plenty of room here. It's got textured in the front, nothing on the bottom. There's no cutout, just a plain bottom. It's got a very nice and high undercut. So you can get a nice high grip with a beaver tail that lets you lock in very securely. You got your mag release. It is textured on the round part of the button. And nicely, I can reach it without having to remove or change my grip, which is unusual for me. I got medium-sized hands, so normally I got to break my grip a bit. But with this, I don't know if I forgot if I mentioned it, but it comes with back straps, 3 back straps. So you knock this pin out, and this whole back strap, the rubber panel comes out, and all you have to do is pick the medium, small, medium, or large, whichever one fits your hand the best, slide it in, put the pin back in, and you have adjusted your grip module. At the bottom of it, you're not going to have much of a mag well. There's a bit of a beveled area here in case you needed to grab the mag out and rip it out. But other than that, not much of a mag well. You can see how it's textured. It's a bit of a Coke bottle type texture, so it fits your hand really nicely. The shape of your hand just melts in there. Is very nice. I mentioned the beaver tail. It's not too big, but it's big enough where you can get a nice high grip. The controls, this one has a decocker as you can see there. We'll see it in a second. And your slide stop, slide release. The decocker is ambidextrous. You're going to find it on both sides of the pistol. This slide lock, of course, is just on the left side. I mentioned earlier the mag release button. It is on the left side only, but it is reversible to the right side as well. You take a look at the right side of the pistol. You're not going to find a lot of billboards and lawyer writing all over the place. Just says Fusion Tactical. And that's about all the writing you're going to see on the right side of the pistol. On the left side, you're just going to see laser engraved the Sphinx, Swiss made. And down here, all you're going to see is says the Attic Inc. in North Dakota. The Attic are the sole distributors of the Sphinx products in the US. And they got a beautiful shop over in North Dakota, and you can find them under the Sportsmans Lodge. Just absolutely amazing selection of firearms. I'll let you take a look at the front. Your focus catch up. So going back upstairs here, you got a hammer that has been skeletonized and has got texture, so you can get a nice grip on it. Going back to the trigger, like I mentioned, the trigger guard is pretty ample, but you've got a typical CZ curved trigger. It is a metal trigger. Now what's nice about this pistol for me, like I mentioned with medium-sized hands, is normally with CZs, the distance that you have between the back of the strap and your finger reaching the trigger shoe, it is long-ish for me. So normally I'll have a problem in double action reaching the shoe correctly, putting my finger on the trigger correctly. With this, it's a bit less of an issue for me. Now, when we're in single action, I have no problem whatsoever. And then when you decock it, I have a little bit less of a problem. But it's because you can see the hammer is not completely on in the resting position. Now, I'm going to put a snap cap. It's a snap cap. So in single action, I've got no problem reaching it. There. And in double action, you see now I'm in the very tip of the pad, and it is a stretch, but I can do it. So that was a pleasant surprise. Since we're talking about the trigger, let me tell you a little bit about the trigger. And it's coming in at, let me make sure that I got my notes correctly. The trigger is coming in single action at 3.3 pounds and in double action at 8.16 pounds. Let's take a look at the double action first. And we already checked that this has a snap cap. So in double action, it is heavy. I'm not going to lie to you. It is very, very smooth. And pull, 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 and there it breaks. The break is very, very noticeable, meaning crisp. Once you get that wall and you punch through that wall, it goes. Now let's see if you can hear it. There it goes. Now this is tremendously smooth. You don't feel any grit, any grind, just resistance. And then there it breaks. Now it's going to spit out the snap cap. I should have taken it back out. Let's try this again. There it goes. And then it resets. I mean, there's the reset from here, there, and it goes. But I want you to try to hear this, because you can't. There's the reset, but the movement, that little play there, it is smooth as glass. There's no grind, grit. It's just smooth glide. And there's the reset. It's tactile, it's audible. It's just very, very nice. It's just a clean, crisp, beautiful break. Now what we're going to do now, I'm going to take it apart, show you the insides. Now the YouTube policies They make them as vague as they can so they can apply it whichever way they want. And I'm hearing that we're not supposed to show you how to disassemble a pistol anymore. And by the way, YouTube, everything you see in this pistol, let me take a good look at it. Everything you see, this is the way it came from the factory. It has not been modified in any way by me for the show, during the show, or after the show. It shouldn't have to matter. I shouldn't have to say this. But for those of you that are familiar with how CZs break down, you know what you need to do with these two notches. Then you know what you need to do with that. And after you pull this out, you know what to do with the rest. So let me put this down, take it apart, and I'll be right with you. Okay, we're back. So here's the disassembled pistol, and let's take a look first at the slide. Like I mentioned earlier at the beginning, it's made out of a solid piece of billet. And you can see how the rails are going to ride inside of the frame in a typical CZ fashion. And it is just very well done. You see no tool marks, no machine marks. And I'm sorry that it's a little dirtier than probably should be, but it just came back from the range. And I thought it would be a little cleaner. But here you're showing you what the slide looks like. Let's take a look at the barrel. It's very nicely made. Highly polished feed ramp. So you can see a little bit inside, like you can see it's dirty. I'm focusing on the inside. There we go. A recoil spring. Captive recoil spring. Here's the lock that comes out. A little bit of texture, very the same as a CZ. And now let's take a look at the frame, the inside of the frame. Just everything very well done. It's where it's supposed to be. You can see the rail system inside. And one thing you'll find once you put it together is that it just fits beautiful. Very tight fit. And the rail just slides on this like glass. Like I mentioned, this is aluminum with a aluminum upper here with a polymer bottom. And this whole module, you can get it in black like it is right now, or you can get it with a black slide and a sand color model. So I saw one that had the black slide, it had the threaded barrel, the red dot, and the sand color lower. And that just looks absolutely beautiful. So that's what it looks like disassembled. And unfortunately, I need to stop the video again, put this back together, and we'll return with you in a second. And we're back. The gun is back together, and here it is in front of you. So you're talking about a pistol that is handmade in Switzerland. The fit is just superb. There's no rattle anywhere. There's no play whatsoever on the barrel. The side to side, there's no play side to side. I mean, just the tolerances are tremendously tight. If you look back here, you can see the quality. If you run your finger up and down the back of it here, it just feels almost like one solid piece. There's nothing protruding. The edges are just absolutely perfect everywhere around that you look at it. When you slide, oops, there goes the focus, sorry about that. There you go. When you grab it and you rack the slide, it's just smooth as glass when you ride it. So what don't I like about it? Let's start there. Well, I'd have to think about that. But one of the issues would be the distance that I have between the back strap and the actual curved trigger. But I would love to try their flat trigger. They have a model that has a flat trigger. That might help me. So that's one of the things, and I can say the main thing that I don't like. It's a bit heavier, like I said, than a Glock 45, but it's not a gun that I would consider for daily carry for me. It may work for you. The other thing that might be an issue for some people is the price. because this is coming in at $1,999 the way you see it with the optic. If you consider the optic, it's about $400 depending where you buy it. You're still talking about a $1,500 pistol, give or take. Your price may vary. You might say, and this might be a conversation for a different video, you might say, well, but I can get a CZ P07, which is similar, for $550. So is there $1,000 of extra value here? That's going to be a question that you can answer only. Because I have the CZ P07, I have other CZs as you have seen on the channel, and I also have Sphinx pistols, and now the ones you see in front of the table, which, by the way, I want to thank the Attic Imports and the Sportsmans Lodge in North Dakota for sending these pistols in for the videos. So, is it worth it, the extra $1,000? For me, the answer would be yes, because I can appreciate the craftsmanship, I can appreciate the tolerances, the materials. When you hold it in your hand, it just feels like you're holding quality. You can go to the grocery store in a Chevy, you can go to the grocery store in a Range Rover. You accomplish the same thing. Which way do you want to go? More of a visual one, you can have a watch like this. You can have, a watch like this. They're both going to tell the time. There's a bit of an enormous difference between having a watch like this, having a watch like this. So it's going to be like, the thing is going to be, what does your budget allow, what the purpose is going to be, and what's going to make you happy. How do you want to go to the grocery store per se? I'm starting to ramble, but I want to make my point because it already happened in the Sphinx videos where people say, that's ridiculous. I would never spend that kind of money when I can buy a CZ P07, or I can buy 3 CZ P07s or for that. Yeah, you can. That's not the point. The point is, if your budget allows, if you think there's value here versus a P07, then this is worth every penny. It is laser accurate, and I just think they're making fantastic pistols. If I didn't like it, I would tell you. I love this pistol. If you can find one, if you can have the opportunity to shoot them, please do, because I think you'll be as impressed as I am. So here is a look. I was going to say a quick look, but my videos never turn out quick. At the Sphinx Fusion. This is a tactical. I might do a video comparing it with a P07, for example, because I have that P07 you saw that has all that work by Cajun Gunworks and other upgrades. See how that compares to this. And then we're going to take a look at the big brother of this, the Fusion, which is the Fusion ST standard. And that's going to be with the same grip module, but a longer slide, a longer barrel. I look forward to your comments. Let me know what you think of this Fusion tactical. Should I put a threaded barrel on it? Leave it like this? What are your thoughts on it? I look forward to your comments. And please remember that I upload videos every Friday morning and sometimes on Wednesdays when time allows. Thank you very much for watching. And until next time, God bless.